the MVP race. It is coming down to the last couple of games. And you said that you were voting for who? Kendrick Perkins?
Why you want to start?
Because, who is it?
You want to start?
Who is it?
I said I'm voting for Giannis.
Okay, so Giannis is out tonight. He will not be playing on the second night of a back-to-back. He warmed up. He's out with what they're calling a knee injury, but really it just seems like, okay, this is the time to take a pause. So all of that being said, last night, Joel Embiid had 52, 13, and 6, his third 50-point game, by the way, of the season, the first center with 3 50-point games since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 71-72. So should I just, like, pack this all up right now and go the MVP race is done? What do you think?
I believe so. I have a vote. I'm voting for Joel Embiid. I think that he's been an MVP throughout the season. I think he's been absolutely sensational. He's leading the league in scoring. His defensive prowess is undeniable. And I got to admit to you that I think that Jokic doesn't even care about it anymore because I think all the noise has been made about him. Of course, he got injured and all of this stuff. It just doesn't appear to be the priority that it once was for him. Of course, Giannis is in the picture. I can't sneeze at Big Perk over that. But I'm just looking at Milwaukee being 10-6 without Giannis on the basketball court. I'm looking at Lopez, Drew Holiday, Portis, all having better seasons than they ever had before. And so you take that into consideration and you look at Giannis, certainly he adds another dimension. But in the end, what are the Philadelphia 76ers without Joel Embiid? I think everybody knows the answer to that question. I think it is clear. He is the MVP, and I believe he will win the MVP this year.
And guess what? If he win it, guess who will be at his ceremony listening to him give his speech? Me. But I'm voting for Giannis because 3 weeks ago, about a month ago, all three of these guys and their teams were about 2 games apart from each other for far as having the best record in the league. And I said when it comes down to it, whichever one of these guys and their team have the best record, that's the guy that I'm voting for. Because we've been having so many conversations about what's the criteria when it comes down to the MVP because we know the history and the past and things to that nature. That's why Giannis got my vote. But I would not be mad at anybody for voting for Joel Embiid because he deserved it.
I think that's tough, Perk, because when you look and say, like, hey, these guys are all so close, we're going to just give it to the best record, I think the Bucks are the most complete team, and that's Stephen A's point. Like, these other candidates, Jokic and Embiid, they're the ones that have shouldered a lot of the load. We've seen what the Bucks look like without Giannis. Nonetheless, like, it's a safe choice either way you go, Giannis or Embiid, but my choice is similar to Stephen A's. I believe it's Joel Embiid, just because this guy has been top 2 in the league for the past 3 years, but this is his year. I mean, he found a problem in his paint production, meaning he was getting doubled left, right, and center. Their offense was a little stagnant. How are they going to fix it? Guess what? He started living at the free throw line, and what happened? We're seeing a center lead the league in scoring for the 2nd straight year. This is not to, you know, throw tomatoes at Jokic or Embiid because Jokic or Giannis, just because they're having remarkable seasons. I mean, a triple-double and then also Giannis having a career high. But if you look at the value that Joel Embiid brings, I look at both ends of the floor. I know Giannis is in that category as well, but Joel, I feel like the narrative, as Stephen A said, he's been consistently dominant, and he's also had those show-stopping performances, and that 52-point was like, hey, y'all, remember, the vote is for me.
And I truly believe that Milwaukee's a better team without Giannis than the Philadelphia 76ers are without Embiid. The other point that I would like to make is that Kendrick Perkins, normally very, very honest and honorable man. Not today. He just lied to the American public. He ain't going to Philly for that press conference. Listen, he's going to be right out here in Southern California weather. He is not going to go to Philly. He'll Zoom, but he will not show up in the city of brotherly love. Trust me, Big Perk is not coming.
Material.
He's not coming.
Nuggets have been the leader in the clubhouse in the West. It feels like all season long. But now they've hit this skid. They've lost 4 games, 3 of which were without Nikola Jokic. How concerned are you that this is happening at this time in the season?
I think we should be very concerned, number one, because Jokic is not 100%. Number 2, the other supporting cast, we've been praising them all season long. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, obviously Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who's still shooting 41% from three-point range. You look at the list of individuals that have been contributors to them. You've transitioned from that to being so bad, you know, losing 4 straight, 5 or 6, then winning 4 straight, then losing 3 or 4. You've been so up and down. Your coach, not once, but on several occasions, has called you soft, publicly.
That is very, very bad. Yes, that's a motivational tactic, but it's not like it's devoid of credence. And when we look at it from that perspective, Denver's got to step up because right now, instead of looking at them as a big-time team, we're looking at the fact that they're in the mile-high city with that high altitude as something that supports them more so than their games.
I mean, the altitude is very high in Denver. Okay, I have to mention that. But I'm worried about the Nuggets. I had to because I'm smooth with it. The reason why I'm worried is not necessarily, it's not because of the team per se. It's actually about the others, the other teams that are knocking on the door. I mean, how many teams in the West are getting better? Let's start with, the Lakers as of late. Their defense hasn't been impressive. The Suns, the Grizz, the Kings, so many teams in the West are coming. That gap that felt so big, like, oh, the Denver Nuggets midway through the season, this is the best team arguably next to the Bucks and the Celtics in the NBA. It feels like it's getting smaller and smaller.
So think about the duos in the Western Conference. You think about KD and D-Book. You think about LeBron and AD, Steph and Clay. I mean, would you pick Murray and Jokic over any one of those duos? I wouldn't. And that's why I can't have faith, and that's why I'm concerned about the Nuggets. It's not because of what Jokic is going to bring to the table offensively, although I feel like he's a liability on the defensive end. It's about we haven't seen Jamal Murray be Jamal Murray that we saw in the bubble since his injury, and that's concerning. In order for them to take that leap, he's going to have to be that 35 to 40 point average score in the series. I don't think he have that right now. I don't think he's back to that.
Okay.
So with him not being to that, I feel like I can't, give them a chance.
And I mean, what we think is one thing, but other teams in the West look around at the Denver Nuggets and they don't exactly fear them. And case in point, on March 14th, they were second in offensive efficiency. And fast forward to now, 25th. So that's the big drop that we have seen for them there.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.